making the headlines tonight. Prime Minister Hun Sen spoke against the sanctions imposed on other countries, saying it can only be a loss and lead to more serious crisis. The Prime Minister made these remarks on the 2022 ASEAN Chair while addressing the World Economic. Prime Minister Hun Sen has said that it is gratifying that during the last few days of the current Commune District Council election campaign, there have been no irregularities to worry about, and all political parties campaigning have adhered to the rule of law, making the election process peaceful and politically neutral. President Joe Biden asked Americans to stand up on the gun lobby and pressure members of the Congress to pass a sensible gun laws after the last killings of at least 19 children and 2 adults in Texas school shooting on Tuesday, the 24th of May. Monkeypox is in over 12 countries outside South Africa being reported. The world is now preparing to give out the monkeypox vaccine. And in the Bavarian city of San Manuel, near the capital of Lima, locals celebrated unique environment-friendly using reused items, plastic bottles and other recycled materials. Contests crafted their own racing vehicles for a car race on Sunday the 22nd of May. This is the Daily Roundup on EAC News Channel. A very good evening to you. I'm Anthony Ellis. At the World Economic Forum, a gathering of economics experts and state leaders, Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen spoke against the sanctions imposed on other countries, saying it can only cause a loss and lead to a more serious crisis. The Prime Minister made these remarks addressing the strategic outlook on ASEAN and ASEAN Chairman in Davos, Switzerland on Tuesday night, the 25th of May. EAC News reporter Deccan Nin has the details.
Prime Minister Hun Sen has said that Cambodia is holding a hot stone while leading the Association of Southeast Asian Nations in 2022 due to many issues faced by the region, such as the ongoing Myanmar crisis, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the conflicts surrounding the South China Sea that Cambodia must work to help resolve. However, the most serious problem, he stressed, is Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which has affected the global economy, particularly in the rise of gasoline prices. Additionally, the Prime Minister forecasted that the world will soon face a food crisis in 2023 because of this war. He urged the world to find a solution as soon as possible to avoid the crisis and any further problems in the future. He added that the countries that are not directly involved in the Russia-Ukraine conflict still face danger from 2 directions: war and useless sanctions.
So by the net that on a hamke or cart loan I die. Comtala hypothesia cray but they that a book that on the come to Le Rosia. Ta ban 8 log a week. Ban 8 log a week. Capong the child panya. I like some look at the homeway. Prosen bar Rosi cut padaj Osman Plium, no rob, chun more up there. Tau potato nang prow way to no Osman. Tau to capture, cap ho. Đang bây giờ bọn hà về đấy. Nghĩa, mình toàn đau cầm rốt ra rồi xí cắt Osman chênh phía rộng đấy. Prosen, ấy lớn đấy, xong bây tè, hà vây để thọp nòm từ rồi xí thọp máu, chẳng ọc rửa sạch khát. Việc priệp đôi chỉ cả bật phía chân. Cả nào bật hơi dương có chênh mà ruôi kê có chôn bạt. Chẳng thế toàn là cắm vì sau trời tầng ọc kia. Rộp tầng trời cho phụ dương đây mà mới chỉ là cho bẹ bọt. Phía.
On 24th February 2022, the Russian Federation launched an attack on Ukraine that Russia calls a special military operation, not an invasion. However, on the night of 2nd March, Cambodia joined 140 other countries to vote in favor of the UN General Assembly resolution, which demanded that Russia immediately, completely, and unconditionally withdraw all of its military forces from the territory of Ukraine within its internationally recognized borders. Although Cambodia recognizes war as an act of aggression, Cambodia does not support the Western sanctions imposed on Russia, saying that only negotiations can find a solution to this war. So far, the Russia-Ukraine war has been going on for over 3 months. Darshana Gochan, EAC News.
Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen has urged foreign investors to invest in Cambodia, saying that Cambodia has now become a country of peace and security. COVID-19 is under control and can facilitate foreign investments with ease. He made these remarks at the Cambodian night to introduce Cambodian products to the international speakers who are attending the 2022 World Forum Summit in Davos, Switzerland on Tuesday, 24th of May. EAC News reporter Decca Nin has the details.
Addressing the speakers who attended the gala night, the Prime Minister highlighted the factors of peace, stability, and progress of Cambodia with controlling and beating the battle of COVID-19, which allowed Cambodia to reopen its economy in early November 2021 and able to accept tourists with fully vaccination from abroad, no longer required to test COVID-19 to attract more investors to Cambodia after the crisis. During the COVID-19 crisis, Cambodia enacted new investment laws, expanded markets, established policies to promote tourism, developed infrastructure, supported transportation, digital information systems, and facilitated public services to ensure investors can invest with ease. Our philosophy is to focus on transforming the challenges posed by the COVID-19 crisis into opportunities for internal reform, as well as infrastructure reform and strengthening socio-economic resilience responding to future crises and to recover quickly, and will accelerate growth in the short term and boost economic growth for the foreseeable future, he said. On this occasion, the Prime Minister invited all businessmen to travel to Cambodia to explore and invest in Cambodia. Cambodia became a member of the World Trade Organization in 2004 and has been active in both the region and the world trade, especially the Cambodia-China Free Trade Agreement and the Cambodia-Korea Free Trade Agreement, which boosted the Cambodian economy. In addition to the bilateral agreement, Cambodia has also become a member of the Regional Comprehensive Partnership Agreement, which became effective in 2022 and is expected to boost the country's economy and bring more foreign and direct investment. With all these possibilities, Cambodia has become one of the fastest growing free market economies in the region. Dekanin, EAC News.
Prime Minister Hun Sen has said it is gratifying that during the last few days of the current Commune District Council elections campaign, there have been no irregularities or worry about, and all political parties campaigning have adhered to the rule of law, making the election process peaceful and political neutral. He's also said the hopes of growth of multi-party liberal democracy in Cambodia will be stronger. The Prime Minister made these remarks through a special voice message posted on his official social media pages on Wednesday morning. Prime Minister Hun Sen has called on all political parties to act with dignity, ensure that the election is conducted in a neutral, non-violent and non-threatening political environment in order to allow the people to choose their leaders. He said that he hopes the growth of the multi-party liberal democracy in Cambodia through regular elections will strengthen the liberal multi-party democracy in this country. The 14-day election campaign of the Commune District Council election would run from the 21st of May to the 3rd of June. All political parties are able to hold gathering parades, hang out posters and post videos to promote their political programs in order to seek support of every electorate every 5 years. The 5th Commune District Council election will be held on the 5th of June with 17 political parties competing for 11,622 seats nationwide from 1,652 communes and districts with more than 9.2 million registered voters. Prime Minister Hun Sen celebrates the success of Cambodian athletes who won medals in the 31st South Asian Games in Vietnam, as well as arrival of the SEA Games flag, which signifies that Cambodia will be the next host for the regional sporting event. EAC News reporter Dekanin has the story.
In a special voice message posted on the morning of Wednesday, 25th of May, the Prime Minister said that Cambodia has just received the flag for the upcoming 2023 SEA Games, which Deputy Prime Minister Thiep Bang and Minister of Tourism Thong Khon brought back to Cambodia together, along with the athletes who returned with double the number of medals compared to the previous SEA Games. The Prime Minister said that this is a turning point in history and that Cambodia has gone through a good stage for sports. The Prime Minister also thanked the leaders and athletes who held the SEA Games flag and medal parade after returning home from the Games in Vietnam and entering the headquarters of the National Olympic Committee of Cambodia, where the SEA Games will be held in 2023. At the 31st SEA Games in Hanoi, Vietnam, Cambodia won 9 gold, 13 silver, and 41 bronze medals. Cambodia won a total of 63 medals, beating its previous record total of 53 medals won in Kuala Lumpur in 1971. Cambodia also beat its previous record of 8 gold medals won in Myanmar in 2013. The Minister of National Defense and Chairman of the Cambodian SEA Games Organizing Committee, Deputy Prime Minister Thia Banh, also called on all relevant ministries, institutions, stakeholders, and Cambodians to be ready to host sports delegation and international guests from all around the world with a smile and dignified attitude, as well as to maintain cleanliness and eliminate inactivity in society to promote Cambodia's reputation during this historic event. This is the first time that Cambodia will host the SEA Games and the ASEAN Para Games, and comes after the construction of the Morodok Nacho National Stadium was completed in Phnom Penh. The 2023 SEA Games in Cambodia will officially open on the 5th of May and run until the 17th of May, while the ASEAN Para Games will start on the 1st of June and run until the 10th of June 2023. Daikanin, EAC News.
After attending the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, the Prime Minister of Cambodia is set to leave Switzerland for Cambodia and arrive back in the country on the 26th of May. This was confirmed in a special voice message posted by the Prime Minister Hun Sen on his social media pages on Wednesday morning. The Prime Minister said that he was preparing to travel by car from Darek to Severick, Switzerland, to travel back to Cambodia by a special plane arranged by the royal government of Cambodia. He added that during the trip, the special plane will first have a layover in Tehran, Iran, before departing to Phnom Penh. He said, "Because we are 5 hours apart, I will leave Zurich at 9 a.m, which is about 2 p.m. Cambodian time." He thanked the Cambodian people living in Europe for welcoming him in Zurich, Switzerland on Saturday, especially expressing his gratitude and pride for those who support the CPP and the royal government of Cambodia. He said he hopes to meet the Cambodian people living in Europe again in December 2022 in Brussels, Belgium, during the celebrations of the 45th anniversary of EU-ASEAN relations. Prime Minister Hun Sen travelled to Switzerland on Saturday, 21st of May, to attend the World Economic Forum in Davos. During the forum, the Prime Minister met with leaders in other countries, received courtesy calls from political and business dignitaries and businessmen, and also met with Cambodians living in Switzerland and other European countries. The Ministry of Health has issued instructions to those who have signs of a rash, itching, blisters on the body, palms, soles, feet and face, and with a fever over 38.5 degrees Celsius to be isolated for health checkups, as it may be a suspect case of monkeypox. Cambodia does not yet have any cases of this disease, but such safety measures should be taken in the event of cases found in the country. EAC News reporter Dekanin has further details.
According to the instruction published by the Ministry of Health on the 25th of May 2022, in addition to symptoms of rash, itching, blisters, and a fever, other symptoms for monkeypox include headaches, swelling of the lymph nodes, muscle and body pain, lower back pain, and exhaustion. A history of travel to countries where an outbreak of monkeypox has been previously recorded is also a potential indicator. The ministry said that individuals who isolate themselves will need to undergo laboratory tests by providing health officials samples of any wounds they may have on their bodies, which will be sent for analysis at Institute Pasteur du Cambodge laboratory. Suspected cases should isolate until receiving confirmation of a negative laboratory result for the monkeypox virus. Additionally, anyone who has been in contact or around a suspected case, especially immediate family members and relatives, should be tracked down and monitored in accordance with the International Regulations 2005 and the existing case reporting network. The Ministry of Health also advises the general public to practice good hygiene and clean living by regularly washing hands with soap and water, eating well-cooked food, and taking other measures to prevent respiratory infections. Additionally, the ministry stresses avoiding direct contact with patients or suspected persons, including sexual contact, all forms of skin contact, or contact with surfaces a suspected patient may have touched until the patient has recovered or been confirmed negative for the virus. The ministry states that those who are related to the patient do not necessarily have to isolate and can work normally, but must still be careful not to touch others during work and must be monitored for 21 days after the day of contact with a monkeypox patient. Additionally, to prevent the spread of infection at hospitals or health centers, the ministry's instruction states that they must work in accordance with medical techniques, training, and guidance provided in the context of COVID-19 prevention. In both suspected and confirmed cases, health officials must wear personal protection equipment before having contact with patients. The medical team should be vigilant and closely monitor patients with rashes, including postular rash, fever, and other symptoms as previously stated. The ministry added that there is no ban of travelers from any country entering Cambodia, but passengers arriving in the country should be careful and monitor their situation. In addition to the stated measures, the Ministry of Health is also looking for sources to acquire a supply of monkeypox vaccines for Cambodia in advance. The World Health Organization recently received a report of series of monkeypox outbreaks confirmed on the 6th of May 2022 in the United Kingdom from a traveler from Nigeria, where the disease is considered endemic. As of 23rd of May 2022, monkeypox cases has been recorded in 19 non-endemic countries around the world. According to the WHO, there are now a total of 158 reported cases of monkeypox, a total of 117 suspected cases being investigated, and no deaths. 2 cases of this disease has been reported specifically in the Western Pacific. Dekanin, EAC News.
If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. Join me and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
US President Joe Biden asked Americans to stand up on the gun lobby and pressure members of the Congress to pass the sensible gun laws after a killing of at least 19 children and 2 adults in Texas school shooting on Tuesday, 24th of May. We are still waiting for our official count.
The carnage began with the 18-year-old suspect, identified as Salvador Ramos, shooting his own grandmother who survived, authorities said. He fled the scene and crashed his car near the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, a town about 80 miles west of San Antonio. There, he launched a bloody rampage that ended when he was killed, apparently shot by police. The latest bout of gun-fueled mass killings in the United States and the nation's worst school shooting in nearly a decade. The motive was not immediately clear. Texas governor called the school shooting that killed 18 children and 1 adult on Tuesday, 24th May a senseless crime. Enough is enough, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris called for courage to take action in the aftermath of the Texas school shooting. Mr. President, 14 kids dead in an elementary school in Texas right now. What are we doing? Senator Chris Murphy asks before the latest count was revealed. I'm here on this floor to beg, to literally get down on my hands and knees and beg my colleagues, find a path forward here. Work with us to find a way to pass laws that make this less likely, Murphy said in a fiery floor speech. When are we going to do something? Golden State Warriors coach spoke about the Texas shooting. A father of a 10-year-old said he had been waiting for hours for a status update on his daughter, who was inside her Texas elementary school. Alfred Garza said he has not received any information about whether his daughter, Amy Jo, was injured or killed in the attack. We can't get anything. Are they okay? Are they not okay? We're still waiting, Garza said. Garza and dozens of families of other students waited at the Civic Center in Uvalde, Texas, the designated reunification point for those impacted in the shooting at Robb Elementary School. So many people have called out for the stoppage of America's own war on itself. Cries have come out from all over the United States. When will this stop? When will we stand up to the gun lobbyists? Americans need to start looking at what's happening in their own country instead of advising about what other countries and their wars they need to put to an end to their own mass murdering, follow suit of other countries that have tightened gun laws. U.S. President Joe Biden asked Americans to stand up to the gun lobby and pressure members of Congress to pass sensible gun laws. We have to act, he said, and suggested reinstating the assault weapons ban and other common-sense gun laws. Biden ordered the flags at the White House and at U.S. federal and public buildings to be flown at half-staff until sunset on May 28th.
A joint patrol by Russian and Chinese warplanes near Japan's airspace during Tokyo's hosting of the leaders of the Quad grouping of countries, Minister Nishabi Sakaguchi said. State Department spokesman Ned Price said, Tuesday demonstrates the partnership between the two countries is quite alive and well.
Japan scrambled jets after Russian and Chinese warplanes neared its airspace on Tuesday, Defense Minister Nobuo Kishi said. Tokyo conveyed grave concerns to both Russia and China through diplomatic channels, Kishi said at a news conference that was broadcast online. We believe the fact that this action was taken during the Quad summit makes it more provocative than in the past, he said, adding it was the fourth such incident since November. He characterized the incidents as a likely provocation by both Beijing and Moscow on a day when US President Joe Biden, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and Australia's newly elected leader Anthony Albanese were meeting in Tokyo. Two Chinese warplanes flew over the Sea of Japan from the East China Sea and were then joined by two Russian warplanes for a flight together toward the East China Sea, Kishi said. Later, the two Chinese warplanes were replaced by another pair believed to be Chinese, which then flew with the Russians on a long flight toward the Pacific Ocean, he said. A Russian reconnaissance plane also flew over the open sea from the northern island of Hokkaido to the Noto Peninsula on Japan's main island, he said. None of the aircraft entered into Japan's airspace, he said. Russia and China both confirmed they conducted a joint patrol. Russia's defense ministry said the patrol lasted 13 hours over the Japanese and East China Seas. The exercise was part of an annual military cooperation plan, China's defense ministry said. State Department spokesperson Ned Price said a joint patrol by Russian and Chinese warplanes near Japan airspace during a visit by U.S. President Joe Biden on Tuesday demonstrates that a partnership between the two countries is quite alive and well.
The PRC in Russia did conduct a joint military patrol involving their strategic bombers on May 24th. The patrol, as we understand it, traversed the Sea of Japan and continued through the East China Sea and the Philippine Sea. This exercise was likely planned well in advance by both countries, and Beijing's decision to cooperate with Moscow in this way, amid Russia's further invasion of Ukraine and the Kremlin's dangerous nuclear rhetoric, demonstrates the quote-unquote no-limits partnerships that they talked about in their joint communique is quite alive and well.
Human monkeypox was first identified in humans in 1970 in the Democratic Republic of Congo in 9-year-old boy in a region where smallpox had been eliminated in 1968. Also in 1970, 11 African countries had also human cases of monkeypox that had been reported. The world is now preparing to give out monkeypox vaccine. WHO and partners are working to better understand the extent and cause of the outbreak of monkeypox. The virus is endemic in some animal populations in a number of countries, leading to occasional outbreaks among local people and travellers. The recent outbreaks reported across 11 countries so far as atypical as they are occurring in non-endemic countries. Human monkeypox was first identified in humans in 1970 in the Democratic Republic of Congo in a 9-year-old boy in a region where smallpox had been eliminated in 1968. Also in 1970, 11 African countries also had human cases of monkeypox that have been reported. A new outbreak has been found on 13th of May 2022. Cases of monkeypox have been reported to WHO from 12 member states that are not endemic for the monkeypox virus. Investigations are ongoing. However, reported cases thus far have no established travel links to endemic areas. Based on currently available information, cases have mainly but not exclusively been identified amongst men who have sex with men seeking care in primary care and sexual health clinics. Monkeypox virus is an orthopox virus that causes a disease with symptoms similar but less severe to smallpox, while smallpox was evacuated in 1980. Monkeypox is a zoonotic, a disease that is transmitted from animals to humans. Causes are often found close to tropical rainforests where there are animals that carry the virus. Evidence of monkeypox virus infection has been found in animals including squirrels, Cambodian poached rats, dormice, different species of monkeys and others. Animal to human zoonotic transmissions can occur from direct contact with body fluids, blood, or continuous or mosco lesions of infected animal. Human to human transmitted is limited, with the longest documented chain of transmissions being 6 generations, meaning that the last person to be infected in this chain was 6 links away from the original sick person. It can be transmitted through contact with body fluids, lesions on the skin, or on internal muscular surfaces, such as in the mouth to throat, respiratory droplets, sexual intercourse, and contaminated objects. The incubation period of monkeypox can range from 5 to 21 days. The febrile stage of illness usually lasts 1 to 3 days with symptoms including fever, intense headache, swelling of the lymph nodes, back pain, muscle ache, and intense lack of energy, therefore by a stage of followed by the skin eruption stage, lasting for 2 to 4 weeks. Lesions involve from musculus, lesions with flat base, to pupillus, raised from painful lesions, to vesicles filled with clear fluid, to pusstules filled with pus, followed by scabs or crusts. It is important to distinguish monkeypox from other illnesses such as chickenpox, measles, bacterial skin infections, scabies, syphilis, and medicated non-associated allergies. The proportion of patients who have died from varied between 0 to 11% in documented cases has been higher among younger children. It's unusual for the world to see this many cases of monkeypox outside of Africa after more than 100 cases were confirmed or suspected around the world. Let's have a look at today's finance. The CXX index is currently 509.16 points, up 1.13 points or 0.24%. The daily exchange rate is 4,062 Khmer Rial to the dollar. Now let's have a look what's happening around the world. Asia stocks rose on Wednesday even as central banks piled in aggressive rate hikes to battle soaring inflation and left investors worried about slower global growth. MSCI's broadcast index Asian Pacific shares outside Japan rose 0.72%, with Australian shares up 0.72%, Seoul adding 0.84% and Taiwan advancing 1.07%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng and China's main indexes also traded higher, while Japan's Nikkei share average slipped 0.04%. European markets also look set to a firmer open, with pan-European futures up 0.93% and FTSE 100 futures 0.88%. The US dollar index USD, which measures the currency against 6 major rivals, rebounded 0.16% to 101.92, a level not seen since April 26. Meanwhile, the Kiwi hit a 3-week high at 65 cents after the New Zealand Central Bank raises rates by an aggressive 50 basis points and signalled more to come. The Nasdaq Composite dropped 2.35% and the SP 500 lost 0.81%. Gold prices dipped 0.19% to $1,862.27 per ounce. having risen over the highest in 2 weeks since Tuesday on the greenback gained. The SP 500 and Nasdaq finished on the red on Tuesday as worries that aggressive moves to curb decreases high inflation might tip the US economy into recessions, dampen investors' risk appetite. All three major US stock indexes paired their losses in the afternoon trading, with the blue chip Dow turning positive, even so the SP 500 ended 2.2% percentage points above, confirming it has been in the bear market since reaching its all-time high on January 3rd. Much of the sell-off was driven by a profit warning from Snap Inc., which was sent the company shares plummeting 43.1%, sparking a conticon throughout the social media segment. Meta platforms Alphabet, Twitter and Pinterest were down 5% and 24%, and the broader SP 500 communication service sector slid 3.7%. Global supply chain distributors have been exacerbated by Russia's war with Ukraine and restrictive measures in China to control its latest COVID-19 outbreak, sending inflation to multi-decade highs. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 48.38 points, or 0.15%, to 31,928.62. The SP 500 lost 32.27 points, or 0.81%, and the 3,941.48. The Nasdaq Composite dropped 270.83 points, or 2.35%, to 11,264.45. 6 of the 11 major sectors of the SP 500 ended the session in negative territory, with the communication services and consumer directories suffering the biggest percentage losses. Ukraine, battered by the 3 months of war, planned to continue to tap crypto investors to help raise funds after a plunge in prices disseminated in the country's fundraising efforts in May. On March 19th, the Government Aids for Ukraine Fund said it had raised more than $60 million worth of cryptocurrency, but 2 months later, on May 19th, the total raise was $51.5 million. Ukraine's Deputy Minister of Digital Transformation, Alex Bokovov, said, "Cryptocurrencies have fallen sharply in recent weeks. Bitcoin has lost more than 20% of its price so far in May, following a 17% drop in April, highlighting the risk of facing by holders in highly volatile assets." That's the latest news in finance. Catch tomorrow for more. Now, let's have a look at the weather and what you can expect for tomorrow. And finally, in the Bavarian city of San Miguel near the capital Lima, locals celebrated a unique environment-friendly car race on Sunday the 22nd of May.
Using reused items, plastic bottles, and other recycled materials, contestants crafted their own racing vehicles. Over 20 cars inspired by iconic movies and cartoons participated. Amongst the racers were a Batmobile, a Super Mario Bros. Inspired car, and a beehive-shaped car. Saint Miguel's mayor, Jose Guevara, said that the aim was to uphold family union and, above all, to promote the crafting of cars using recycled materials. In the children's category, a car inspired by the 90s TV series Rugrats got the first prize. A Ninja Turtles car won the first place in the adult category. The event was part of the activities to celebrate the San Miguel's District 102 anniversary.
Thank you for watching the Daily Roundup here on the EAC News Channel. For more breaking news and updates, check our website eacnews.asia or search EAC News on Telegram, Smart TV or your favourite app store. More from the EAC News team tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We'll see you then.